starting off with Gears, and then I'll get over to Halo Combat Evolved. The reason why I want to talk about this is because I think Gears did a really good job on one particular thing. It's that they did a beta divides players on fast movement. So because they did like a beta test, right? Gears did a really, really excellent job of actually doing some really good playthrough of showing that players are getting really good feedback of what they're expecting to see within the multiplayer for Gears, let alone just what to expect to see when actually doing the campaign itself. So that's really actually exciting. So let's go ahead and read some of it. So the early access beta from August 6th to 10th. The last day is the 10th, so this is the last day for it. Peaked at 14,331 current stream players. That really kind of doesn't mean anything because most of the time, all of Gears has really actually just been on Xbox, so I'm more excited to see what's occurring in the future for this new Gears. So, stream players beating Gears 5 recorded with footage highlighting allegedly slides or agile slides, while bounces and intense Nasher shotgun duels and destructible maps. Destructible. Hey, now that's something actually really new for the Gear series, is destructible maps. That's really, really cool to see. Some longtime fans defend the high skill piece as core to the series, urging casual players to adopt, while critics say it pushes away newcomers. No, not necessarily. I mean, if you've been playing Gears for a long time, then it's nothing new to you, but for new players, this is actually a really good introduction to Gears because this is the first technically like reference to E-Day, Immersion Day, for those that are unfamiliar with the Gear series. So I don't say that. I kind of think it's just like a critic thing that they're just saying it's going to be really hard for people to adapt to, and it's just going to be really thing. Again, Gears is a niche kind of game, so fully launches October 6th. So hey, it's coming pretty up soon. So the Xbox Series X/X. I really wish again it was just on the Xbox One, but again we're on to the newest and greatest and latest Xbox, which is still Xbox One. I kind of criticize that for a little bit, but that's here neither there. But again, this is a really cool thing. It's also going to be on PC in the Game Pass with open beta expected to draw even more crowds. So what that means is Gears is not going to PlayStation. Gears E-Day is not going to PlayStation, so that's some pretty exciting news actually. That this is going to be an only Xbox exclusive, unlike Halo Campaign Evolved, which we're now going to actually get into. Because again, this is just kind of cool that they're actually showing what they expect to be on the multiplayer for Gears. So a little bit of gameplay that's going right there, just sliding and just new particular players. So it's kind of nice to see that Gears is actually doing really, really well. But Halo, let's talk about it. So something actually occurred and happened because I just learned this through the grapevine, that apparently Halo Combat Evolved, I haven't got to play it yet because I'm still waiting on getting a new Xbox One, technically the X series, because I want to actually be able to push in disc. But it's really, really, really sad to hear. I could have been playing on stream for the Steam, but I didn't want to do that because traditionally I've always played Halo on Xbox, and I'm going to only play on the Xbox. That's how I just handled it. That's how I was introduced to the very first Halo. Second, third, fourth, I have not played the 5th or Infinity, which I still need to. I have played ODST. Halo Wars, I've never really got into because it was more of a strategy base rather than the first-person shooter that I'm used to for the combat. So I didn't really go into that. I know that Infinity does reference Halo Wars 1 and 2, but then again, I kind of do kind of nitpick at it because it's more of a tactics rather than an actual Halo game to experience. So what did I get to have the joy of finding? Apparently, Halo Combat Evolved multiplayer deathmatch info. So for the campaign Evolved, for Halo, the newest Halo game, where I kind of was already kind of like nitpicking at on last stream, Halo Campaign Evolved does not include Team Deathmatch. Oh boy. I say that with all sincerity. I say that with all kindness of, oh no. And the reason why I say that with all kindness and all like sincerity of why is because Halo has always and will forever be a game where it's been multiplayer. That's the whole reason why a lot of people played Halo, was to play multiplayer mode, not just the campaign. The lore itself is important. I would say it's probably like 50% people like to play for the gameplay on the lore side. Another 50% really love that multiplayer experience of being able to just like do King of the Hill. They love to do team deathmatch. They love to play capture the flag. They love to play grief ball, or in this case, GURF, because Red vs. Blue had their amazing tie-in. So that means no Blood Gulch. Like the most infamous map in all of Halo, Blood Gulch, in Halo 1. Everybody knows Blood Gulch that has played Halo, at least knows of Blood Gulch. Now, Halo 4 is kind of an exception because you don't really go to that unless you do a Halo Waypoint, but then that's neither here nor there for the Halo 4 series, but they did at least have the multiplayer experience to it. To not have a multiplayer experience on Halo Campaign Evolved is an insult to the community. It is a complete insult to the community. I did not expect to hear this or even know about this, that there is not a player versus player. This needs to be fixed as soon as possible. Like, I know this is a big gripe of mine, but this is like, hey, let me just brush my eyes off real quick. No. Apparently, Halo does not have the crossplay for player versus player. So let's even get a little bit more into it. Yeah. Oh no. Halo Campaign Evolved, co-op guide, split screen. I don't really care about the co-op mode for the split screen, and no player versus player. That's the kind of a killer. Counter-Rule traditionally is associated with not only to be the story campaign, but also with the competitive multiplayer. So to remake announcement immediately raised the question of rather that the part of the game would return in Campaign Evolved. The remake is built on the new engine and expands co-op, but the developer's approach to multiplayer is noticeably different from the original. Noticeably? This should have been day one, like, no-brainer. Campaign Evolved is going to have multiplayer. But to not even have multiplayer is something that kind of deliberately stresses me out, because it's like, what in the living, breathing hell are we in without having a multiplayer mode for the newest Halo? Even the Master Chief Collection had it. Even the Anniversary Edition from 2011 had it. What are we doing? There's already problems as it is, but to not have a multiplayer mode is like a shoot to the head for multiple people, especially those that are coming in for the very first time to the Halo franchise and then realizing when you play another particular different one, there's a multiplayer mode. So to realize that there is a multiplayer mode in all the others except this one is a question. Even Infinity had a multiplayer mode. Even Halo Wars, I would assume, has a tactical multiplayer mode that you could probably play on. Maybe not. I'm not entirely too familiar with the Halo Wars franchise. Let me know. But at the same time, to see that this is a level of concern for Halo, because I've already nitpicked at just the case itself for Combat Evolved. Let's take a look again at the original Campaign Evolved versus the new Combat Evolved, because I'm a little bit, again, super concerned as a Halo player that's been around for years, that still has the original Xbox from good old Campaign Evolved. So let me go ahead and switch to the screens. Alright, so as you can see right now, we have the platinum hits for the Halo Combat Evolved versus the newer one from Halo Studios, the Halo Campaign Evolved. On the back, it's kind of bare bones, but at least it gives you an introduction to the series. So for the Halo Campaign Evolved, we have this really awesome, cool cover art in which it goes over some really cool stuff of who you are, what you're fighting against, and all that. Same kind of goes, but wait, something's a little bit different. Wait a minute. Let's go back to Halo Combat Evolved. On the back, it had really cool artwork mentioning Halo. On this back, it shows the Halo ring, but it takes the joy out of seeing your guys. Why are my guys not really popping out? And then another thing that has frightened me that I have mentioned is faithful yet modernized remake. I don't want to hear that. No one wants to hear that. They want to hear the faithful remake. A faithful remake is that's all anyone needs to hear. But to hear, to see, to now like hear more bad news, which I'm really sad about, to hear more bad news that there is no PvP. Oh, it's an insult. It's an insult to veterans that have played Halo for many, many, many years, and it's an insult to new players that have always heard that Halo always had multiplayer. What's going on? So, what had happened and occurred from this is supposedly a lot of things did occur. Let's dive into it a little bit more. So, again, Gears is to expect it to be really good. We've gone over Gears, and so far they did the great job. They showed their multiplayer, they went over, they had a little bit of fun, people were playing it, they were having a joy and fun. Look at this. Look at the real quick, let's go ahead, let's watch this footage. This already looks exciting as it is. Already off the bat, what I can see that they did some amazing improvements on. They got a slide feature now. You're still running and gunning as if you have like a Taco Bell Express coming out of your ass. Funny as ever. Still has the original cog. You're going against boomers. A little bit of new nuance. Still have the same placement of certain things that are in it. A little bit newer stuff. So referencing back towards Gears 3. Excellent job. Like, hey, we got cool stuff. I can only imagine how they're switching through guns, but still, it's a very, very still faithful thing that the Gears has. So Gears is looking really, really good, guys. And we're seeing actual fun gameplay. You're climbing stuff, you're doing stuff in Gears. I'm going to silence the music. But you're climbing stuff, you're doing stuff, you're still moving around. Hey, you can jump now. That's like a new thing to Gears. But you're still able to go around, move around, make moves, make stuff. People are still having fun. Nasher. Look at that. The Nasher hasn't really changed. Still playing around, still moving around. But this time you're moving, you're grooving. They got new characters. They got new skins that are actually looking really exciting and fun. You have a new skin of a cog that has destroyed armor during Immersion Day. Guys, this is looking great. This is looking good. This is a faithful remake. Well, not a remake, but a new game, a new addition to the beginning of the Gears of War. This is perfect. We still have our place in Sarah. We still have our place in the world. I feel immersed. I feel great. Like, look at this. This is looking great. And this is for people that are playing both on the Xbox and Steam. This is fantastic. And again, they're really hyped up. Okay, a lot of players are coming in. They're doing the beta test. A lot of good interaction with the community where they can write up their complaints before they actually do the launch. I remember back when I was really little, when Six Flags was still in Colorado at the time, I had went to a Halo 3 premiere thing where they gave you the controller and they're like, play Halo. What? It's new Halo. Play Halo. And I was like, it's first ever Halo on the Xbox 360, guys. First ever Halo on the... Oh my God. Whoa. Whoa, what's new? What's new? Oh, the bazooka's still the same. Boom! What mode were they in? Nonetheless, multiplayer. I was there. I was there as a little kid, and I was like, they also got the Mountain Dew, the Mountain Dew. Oh my God, guys, they got the Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew, Halo. You can play Halo, and you can drink some Mountain Dew with Halo. Oh my! And it was orange Mountain Dew, just like Chief's Visor, just like Chief's Visor. It was what the flavor's called? Voltage. Oh my God! That's the excitement. But all I'm seeing is at least Gears getting by, but still doing something, and I want to see that. It's like, but this is Campaign Evolved, and Campaign Evolved is getting trashed on. And again, there are going to be a lot of people that are like, hey, it's still Halo. But it's like, where's the multiplayer? Are we going to see it? So apparently, what's been happening with that, we're going to go ahead and look up some fun stuff with Halo, is that, hold on, look at this. Need I say more? Oh. I wish there was a way that you would know they're in the good old days. And look at this. Advertisement for Halo. Sure enough, though, when I did go to Best Buy to try to find a Halo copy, ran out on the Xbox. But you know what didn't run out? The copy of it on the PlayStation. That's truth. I saw it. But the Xbox versions of it ran out because the true believers in it wanted it. They needed it. They were like, I want it. I remember those days. And how amazing it was to see that they were coming out. Right already on my feed. Right there already on my feed. Of something that I wanted to look at. Man. That's something. But, let's get into the drama. So, the Halo drama. So it's official, the new Halo had the worst launch in the franchise on PC. 343 managed to ruin a game that is already ready, and the result is layoffs. So we're already having layoffs at 343 at Halo Studios, the rebranding of 343. And again, it's just not looking good. It's not looking good at all. And it's kind of sad because a lot of people didn't want this particular character. Here is a female Spartan. Yep. As you can see, a female Spartan still is a Spartan looking badass. Then we have a female ODST, supposedly. What are we doing? Where's the helmet for the ODST? Where's our helmet for our ODST? Why do I have to see your face? I want to see the helmet of the ODST before I see her face. Because that's normally how it always goes, is you get to see sometimes the characters. ODST is an exception, because it was an exception. It was talking about the little guy. But this is talking about Master Chief and what's going on with it. So to see this, it's kind of an insult. A run for the money, if you will. I like playing Halo and having fun, and that's totally fine. What? How dare you? Halo died after Reach. Halo 3 was the ending. I personally say Halo 4. Because you have the sacrifice of man. You have the sacrifice of the Chosen One, a.k.a. Spartan 117, John 117, of going out and being like, okay, I'm going to finish this off with this supposed Holy Spirit that's been with me this entire time. But the Holy Spirit has to make the final sacrifice of realizing you need to return home to be human. And in a way, that was like a revelations of being like, the Lord has given his final sacrifice of becoming man again, leading man on into those trying times, to know that he is bearing down and becoming man and giving up. And it was like a nice, good touching of where 343 was trying to actually be like, here's a good way that we kind of can lead off to it. And then Halo 5 kind of ruined it, but then they did the Master Chief Collection to be like, okay, well, here's the story of what's going to happen and occur of why Halo 5 led up to it. And it made more of Master Chief look like a rogue instead of this hero, this valiant, gallant hero that has saved all of humanity at the cost of supposedly his beloved Cortana, or in this case, the spirit of what he had kept with him, that kept him human, that kept him sane, of remembering who and what he was fighting for, humanity. And to know that it was gone was just a really sad thing. So layoffs occurring and happening is completely understandable, which is just it's devastating. And so, yeah, the studio couldn't make basic animations. Screws up the character designs, and worst of all, has completely lost the ability to tell stories. The decline is shameful. And there's a couple other things that they had like immense heartbreak and struggle on. Is the fake recognition of Cortana, taking one of like a cheesy thing of like having Cortana talk. This is just a reference of Reach. That you have the comics. It's just a really sad thing because long term Halo fans, yeah, to hear that we're getting 3 new missions was like, oh, okay, more backstory, heck yeah. The Pillar of Autumn, heck yeah, the Pillar of Autumn, guys, let's go. Like, what happened? Because on Reach, John was on there, and they were just getting out, and they were getting chased down. Like, what's going on? And only then to have it kind of just be slapped in the face. I have not played the new missions for the campaign, but I definitely will like to see what occurs and happen. However, what I did realize that they at least did right. I at least want this to be more on the positive side than anything else. If anything, is that if we take a look at the gameplay of just Halo itself, it's not that bad. It really isn't. It's not that bad. The gameplay itself is okay. So let's take a look at the gameplay just a little bit. So, Halo. I'm going to go ahead and pull that. CE gameplay. No commentary. We got the new one, but I don't want... I just want gameplay. So that way we can see it. Because I'm not really just worried about the story. I'm more concerned and worried about the game. So let's pull it up, see if it at least has some gameplay in it.
You could tell a single-player campaign is truly great when revisiting it.
I'm going to turn down IGN because I'm not focusing on IGN of what they want to say. What I'm focusing on is, okay, so in there we're at least seeing the visor, we're at least seeing parts of where they had to do the guerrilla warfare, of where they had to be on it. We're still seeing some shooting action. We got the Scorpion. Scorpion looks really nice, upgraded, very HD, very good. We got some remakes of certain particular cutscenes where you're battling the hunters for the very first time. This is when you're on the Pillar of Autumn, where you're trying to just get off the ship. This is when you're at your very first couple of missions. I have no idea what's going on with that needler, but it looks like, oh, it's a needler assault rifle. That's pretty cool. That's really interesting. Then you have, of course, some remakes of where you're kind of just speeding around. This is your very first couple of missions that you're going through for Halo, for the assault. But I'm not really gonna care about what IGN is. I'm just looking at the gameplay. We're looking at certain things. When he's getting out, there is the Pillar of Autumn. They're getting invaded. They're heading towards Halo. This is when they crash landed. When Chief crash landed, and all he had to do was just sit down. He could have saved everybody, but his gyration legitimately killed everyone. This is when he's going in, getting closer to 343 Guilty Spark, of learning what the Halo system is. So, again, great for the gameplay, but what we're not going to see is we're seeing the campaign, but we're not seeing the multiplayer, and that's what really breaks anyone's heart. Is that, all right, this is awesome, cool. Your graphics are looking great. Your graphics are looking fine. We have the mini map that's still active, but you have it in different placements that everyone's used to, and kind of like goes around, because Halo is notorious. I want to say this: almost every single Halo is so notorious for being always different, because it's always evolving in different ways, in different forms, in different fashions of how you objectively should see things on your mini-map, how you should objectively go about seeing certain things or not. It just is one of those speculations of having to deal with it. So we'll keep looking at it, seeing any particular more gameplay. Just seeing that, okay, we got the nice good shotguns there. I don't necessarily like how this is looking for it. I don't like how this is, because it's not normally stacked like the assault rifle normally is, that typically Halo 1 was really fashioned for. If this was a tried and true remake, your assault proportion of your assault rifle would actually be up here, along with your grenades of everything, not necessarily down here. I don't know why it's more down here. It would actually be more actually up front. Your map would actually be down here. So the layout of that is actually a little bit weird in kind of getting away. The high definition looks great. It's looking good. It's looking good. It's playing good. It's playing fun. Okay, there we go. You're writing in your... I can't remember. Oh, okay, so you can actually get onto the stuff. Now, if this was a true just remake of just actually taking care of it, or just a redesign, then what would happen is you couldn't actually get into those machines. There were a lot of bugs that were currently happening where you were switching between it that they actually did not do a too good job, that the Anniversary Edition actually did a better job on. So... it's cool that they're bringing in new designs for the guns, but it's kind of remaining a little bit unfaithful, because now you have to redo 2 and redo 3 for that, which is kind of like, guys, what are we doing? What are we doing? Again, they got some faithful parts, which is awesome. That's great, and I'm happy for that. But we're still not seeing, again, just within this, the player versus player portion. Like, where's the player versus player maps? Did we not consider the maps? Did we not consider the time? It's devastating to see. It's truly devastating to see. And it's just unfathomably just weird. Besides that, I actually wanted to talk over another particular thing of just how, okay, we're seeing a struggle with gaming. We saw it with Gears of War. We saw it with Halo, with the drama that's going on there. But I want to talk about another thing. And that other thing is Fable. And before we get into anything else, let's start out with just the trailers of Fable. I won't be talking as much for this, because I want to give it the respect it does deserve. Let's start out with Fable 1, where it all begins. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, look at that. Woo! Yeah! Living life large. Good. Evil. Oh, you can be evil. Look at that. Yep. Yep. Man, ain't that something? So that's Fabled 1. Okay, so then we get into Fable 2 and 3, which is on the Xbox 360, so let's get into it. Lionhead is back at it again, who did Fabled 1, so Fable 2.
Albion.
Back in the same
A
location.
land bursting with life, beauty, and light. Its people unaware of the darkness that awaits them.
This takes place in
Now
Bowerstone
they
over
face their
hundreds
greatest
of
threat,
years.
And they need their greatest hero. You. Unless someone better comes along. A champion who will make a stand. In a world where only the brave and the reckless venture far, while the rest hide cunningly in the bushes. And only the foolish don't pack emergency underpants. Battle fiendish evil and journey into its very heart. Live by your wits or rule by sheer strength. Be feared, be worshipped, be mocked, be loved, be a legend. Who will you become? Fable 2.
Here's the funny thing. I've played all the Fables, beat all the Fables, and loved all these Fables that have come out. The only Fable that I have not played is the one that's designed for the Kinect on the Xbox. So let's go to Fable 3. Not too Fable-y-ish. Doesn't really talk about good and evil at this point, which was kind of a downside for it. But yet, it was the most advanced Fable at the time. So, yeah. Now, we took a look at all three of the Fables, right? They had a consistent type of artwork that remained throughout the ages, right? Consistent artwork. I want you to just remember that consistent artwork that we had just gone over, because now we're going to go ahead and look at the new artwork that Fable has and the new trailer that Fable has. It's not Fable 4, it's just a new trailer for Fable. So we're just calling it Fable. I don't like that. But okay, it's a new way of looking at the story. So we're gonna hop right into the new Fable. And so we're not gonna look at the demo. We're just gonna look at the trailer. And this is why I say we got to look at the trailer, because it's a little iffy. I would not like for Fable to go to to the PlayStation, because it's been on Xbox and it was an Xbox exclusive for the longest time. But I don't know.
Do I remember the moment my powers came in? Well, I was being crushed to death with seawater and mud and manure, whilst holding onto my sister's hand. I remember her fingers gripped so tightly in mine that her nails drew blood. Until I lost her grip. But she stayed away.
Okay. Right off the bat, I'm going to pause and I'm going to say this. Lion's Head is not doing this. Lion's Head had done the 3, technically 4 Fabled games that we saw before this. This is a completely brand new studio that's doing Fable. This is what makes it really, really iffy.
Does stick in the memory a bit, yeah.
I don't care about Isabel.
I know why you're here.
Don't care.
You want to talk about them. They're not real heroes.
Okay, so for those that don't know, in Fable, yes, there are black people. That's canonically correct. It was Whisper and Thunder that were in the original Fable series. So canonically, black people were there. Let's just get that out of the get that out.
I've seen a legend in the flesh.
All that power. How do they use it? Killing mindless beasts.
Okay.
Fighting petty villains.
Nice, nice.
Matters.
Look what the guild shouts out.
A real hero knows how to wield power. They don't waste their time in trivialities.
You're back. And
Tucking Stone Door. Gotta love those.
important things to worry about than vegetables.
A hero knows how to live with their choices.
Oi! What the fuck was that?
Well, I was just...
Just sent my brother into the infinite fucking abyss without even asking permission.
Remorse. Remorse is for the guilty. Look, I will tell you what I told them. Albion is broken, and I'm going to mend it. Albion doesn't need heroes. It needs a hero.
You're a monster.
And that hero is me.
Okay. Okay, this is what I have. Some beef. This is my beef. So Twin Blades. Well, not Twin Blades. It's Jack. This is Jack. Jack is the final villain in Fable. And here's the problem. This is a retelling of Fable. We don't know if this is before or after certain particular heroes in Fable. We don't know if this is before your character has the witness of when Twin Blades kills the main characters, the heroes' family, just slaughters them, and then believes that his sister was not there, only for them to then. This is like a lot of spoiling, but later down the line, Hero learns that his sister's actually alive. He then has to go through his little hero's journey, and then at the end, this villain appeared out of nowhere named Jack of Blades. But Jack of Blades has been mentioned several times throughout the story, from just having to know that I'm trying to remember the word, but basically like a shaman the hero's sister was a shaman of some sorts that could actually see into the future and predict the future because she had magical abilities. Jack Blades actually wanted his sister to be under his control of being able to know the predictions of when catastrophic things or things for them would actually benefit them to occur and happen later down the line. Twin Blades was just a bandit that was being puppeted by the Jack Blades during that entire time. But Jack Blades was this all end all be all evil that was actually causing a lot of havoc within Albion because he was the great evil. He was the great divide of what was occurring and happening. So if Jack of Blades is a woman, then we got problems because Jack of Blades is not a woman. Jack of Blades is a man that has gone insane with just this descendant of what he believes is to be right. So to bring that up even more, it's just like, again, I have a little bit of a I don't know what they're going to try to do, but I really hope that it does work out. It's just at this point, it's just crossing fingers. Now, there is some gameplay of it. I don't want to really get into it until we get closer towards when the date actually comes around, because we're going to want to see those gameplays. And, of course, they're going to do like a whole bunch of stuff, and we're going to have to see a whole bunch of stuff of seeing how it's all related. Now, the problem is that another problem that I have is that within each Fable, it becomes more realistic. It kind of sucks. So the reason why I don't necessarily like this is because each Fable becomes more realistic instead of remaining a Fable. So Fable 1 and 2 actually did a really good job of keeping the similarities that they had between it, where it was this blend of fantasy, unbelievability, but really just over-dramatizing on one of the things. One of the things that I like to point out is that if we look at Fable, look at the gloves. Because they really emphasized the glove in Fable 1, kind of in 2, but in 3 they stopped emphasizing completely. So, kind of in 1, a lot in 1, kind of in 2, but in 3 it's a noticeable difference and change. So, Fable gloves. From game. Trying to get it up so that way I can get up screens. Fable gloves from the game. Images. Okay, so here we go. This is a really good understanding of it. So noticed that the armor in Fable 1, this is like a remaster of it. Things were big, bulky, different. It really shows the emphasis of the time period in which they're living in. The gloves itself, like I said, the gloves itself is what makes it hilariously funny and interesting. This is definitely like a remake, but it keeps true to the Fable and how certain characters are supposed to look and how they're supposed to react. This is in Fable Anniversary, which is on the Xbox Series 60, which is also on the Xbox One as an addition. Take a look at this particular artwork. Notice, again, the gloves, the emphasis on the boots, the emphasis on just how everything is supposed to look with your character is dramatized. And it's amazing, it's nice, and it's badass, and it's cool. Because it's unique with your character, which is even more cool. But then when we get to Fable 2 gloves, really focus on the gloves, it becomes a little bit more realistic. This is the cover art of Fable 2. It becomes a little bit more realistic, but you still have this harrowing thing that's still around. It still has the over-dramatized of what's occurring and happening with your character, but it's still a big glove, and it's still fun to be like, okay, it's in this dramatic tale of it. Then we go to Fable 3, which is a huge game changer, where they start to make things more realistic. So now it's becoming more realistic. The overemphasis of the dramaticism goes away. And that is what makes it really kind of because there was a dramaticism with certain things that they still have. And don't get me wrong, there still is certain dramaticism, but it's not as much. And then when we get to the new Fable, it's not really a scene. We'll have to see like a little bit of a gameplay. So we'll probably have to look into an actual gameplay of it. So Fable gameplay 2026. We just need like a little glimpse of the gameplay, and right, let's take a look at it.
Fable is a beautiful open-world action
I don't need to hear what you have to say. I just want to look into it. Just jump ahead. We're looking into stuff. I want to see it. Oh my goodness. Okay, more realistic now. It's more realistic. Okay, it has the fantasizing of the over dramaticness. It has a horse. You can ride a horse now, which is kind of cool in the Fable universe. The houses are still remaining the same. They're still luscious. They're still unique. It has that European-esque style to it. It has that overemphasis, which is fine. Again, it has that beautiful Fable beanstalkness that's happening and occurring, which is fantastic. That's good, but it's just the gloves become realistic. The characters somewhat remain the same in a sense, but it's too realistic. So we lose this dramaticism that Fable has. So it's as if it's losing its own soul of its dramaticism, which Fable is known for being dramatic. Fable is known for being funny. Okay, now you can pick between things. So, man, that kind of sucks. Like, this was seen in Fable 3 a lot, where they're doing the dialogue. 2, not as much. You can make choices, but your character doesn't necessarily talk. This one, your character now talks, like in Fable 3, so they're kind of copying off of that, which kind of ruins the whole aspect of you're this hero, and you're just doing things, and the story is going along and telling it with you. So they kind of do this, which kind of sucks. I'm not gonna lie. And now you can do these particular traits. You could do all these particular things. You have more ways of interacting with people, but it still kind of feels a little bit Uncanny Valley-esque. But it's like they're at least showing the world around you, trying to be as if it's Fable. It's Fable, but it's not Fable in a way. And it's just over dramatizing. Like, again, it's being too realistic. It's trying too hard to be of a realism. Fable did not necessarily have that realism. So, let's compare this with Fable 2. Fable... Let's get a full screen. Fable 2. With its gameplay. Fable 2, it still has that uniqueness, but you have that particular horse. We don't really care about this. What I care about is there's the gameplay. You're running around. You got your character. You're doing stuff. Really don't care about that. We're just looking at the gameplay. I'm not necessarily looking for a review. You're still interacting, but there's this wittiness, this again, it has an in-depth of showing love and characters. There's not that much realism per chance and per se, but it feels as if you're in another world. It really takes you into that aspect of being in another world. You're dancing, you're having fun. That's not really showing Fable, but there, you're dancing, you're having fun, things are being stupid, you're playing mini games, you're having the time of just trying to do stuff. Characters are just characters. They're living out, they're doing a model, they're doing stuff. This is the flirtation, and this is Bowerstone within Fable 2. But just see that, and then you can do multiple different things. Really interesting. You get to have the orbs. You're playing against demons. You're having a time of your life. You're fighting villains. It's already off the bash. It feels as if it's high wonder, high life. Again, this is like your first village. You're doing stuff. You're going around. I don't really care about the character interaction. Okay, you can dance in different clothes. Fable's known for dancing and having different clothes. You have your maps. Okay, your maps are vast. This is a callback to Fable 1 of how they actually have these detailed maps. Really nice about that. Really awesome. That's really Fabled. But this consistent having to talk. Okay, cool. All right, so they brought back the smithy of where you can actually get jobs at a pub. You can get jobs at a smithy. That's awesome. So practically, at this point, there's going to be probably where you're going to most likely use the crap out of the smithy to get a bunch of weaponry and to get a bunch of gold and to do a bunch of stuff. This has been known since Fable 2 and up that you're just going to have to exploit that so that way you can get rich of some sort. Whatever. It's consistently known for that. But mapping that, again, talking with characters. We're not really getting into the action. Where's the action? We're looking for an apex. Okay, cool. You have a world, but where's the action? Let's get into the action. Oh, now you're going against guards. Now you're going against that. Okay, so you have spells. Okay, unique. There we go. We're getting into some gameplay. Again, a little too realistic of the swordsmanship, which is totally fine. But again, this is high. This is just fantasy. Let fantasy be fantasy. Looks like there's going to be like a parry marker where you have to watch out for. Where, okay, so they're wanting to be a little bit more in depth with the mechanic. So now they're trying to make it more like a. They're trying to make it more like a Souls-like game, which is like that's not necessarily the point of Fable, but okay, but not really okay. Again, they're taking certain aspects and trying to change it and make it different. Which is like, okay, that's fine. All right, now we got really cool finishers, which is like, okay, yeah, Fable did have kind of those finishers, and you're doing all these different things. All the fire looks really cool. You zipping and zapping and teleporting looks really, really cool. That's probably a super broken ability at that point. What I'm not seeing necessarily is, okay, so you have a cooldown, but your cooldown is mentioned, and when you're doing stuff, you can go around, you can venture around, call upon stuff. You can call upon your horse. That's pretty cool. That's awesome. But it's just the realism. Seriously, you gotta focus on more on the fantasy than the realism. They're trying to make it too realistic, which is not necessarily a good thing. But they're trying to tell a different story. So it is what it is. It ain't when it ain't. And it's one of those situations where it's just going to go back and forth. It's just going to go back and forth. So cool, yeah, but walking around, not really actually showing the gameplay of being able to do stuff, and they're trying to make cool little nicks and remarks, fine, that's okay. But again, it's just... Fable is a free roam game, which, yeah, it makes sense. But now you're making it more like, okay, now it's acting like Skyrim. You got to go to place, fast travel, all that stuff. Okay, cool. You're doing that. But this is supposed to be just high fantasy. Just fantasy, just completely. Where you're going around, you're just killing the goblins. You're not just killing the guards. Why are we killing guards? Why can't I kill cool little monsters? Where's the monsters? So I'm a little bit disappointed and underwhelmed for anything, because it's like, cool, you've committed crimes, great, cool, whatever. But where's the excitement and thrill of killing a monster? Where's the excitement and thrill of seeing trolls, goblins, shamans, anything like that that normally Fable is known for? Just within this little preview that we're seeing right here, we're seeing fights of undead. I'm killing the undead, and I'm this badass that's happening right here. Oh, more badasses that are right here. Oh, a banish. I'm going to kill the banish. See, that's nice. That's cool to see. And where the combat system isn't perfect, but it's unique in its own little fashion and way. This is what I like to see from a Fable game. Knowing that there's fabled monsters. Why do I want to just focus on spells and humans? I want to focus on monsters. Monsters is going to be the priority and majority of what you're going to be fighting, let alone in Fable. So those are the three topics that I really wanted to discuss about, really wanted to talk about, really wanted to dive into, because this is the future of games. This is what we're seeing, the future of games. And if we aren't criticizing this now, I can only imagine what's going to happen into the future of gaming. This was the biggest news that I wanted to cover because to see Halo as a franchise lose their multiplayer mode was kind of sad. To see Gears be a little bit underwhelming, but actually at least giving the players a chance to have a beta test before it gets sent out. Excellent work on that. They're actually trying. They're actually doing stuff. They're doing a good presentation of being like, prepare yourself for the game. This is what we have. What are your feedbacks on it? So that way, before we ever send this out as a full game, we have feedback immediately. Halo, Campaign Evolved should have done this. They should have done this. A good introduction where people are just thrilled in going into it and being like, yes, you're taking me off into a new world in Halo. Excellent, cool. So what's happening this time? And another thing they should have really emphasized on and really should have done was been like, by the way, guys, multiplayers in Halo Campaign Evolved, because who doesn't like a good multiplayer mode? Which is just devastating to see that there is no multiplayer mode, no PvP. But in Gears, they did a fabulous job with the PvP. For Fable, they're updating new graphics, which is great. It looks good. It still looks like a good game. It looks like a great game to play for the new Fable game. But it looks like it's too story-driven instead of laxing a little bit in introducing us to where we can just fight monsters and stuff like that. But that was one of my biggest gripes that I really wanted to go over and talk about, because this is the future of the industry. This is the future of gaming. So, we can only hope for better. And we can only hope that things get better. But it's still going to take time for people to be like, we got to criticize this. If we don't criticize, then we won't get better results. We have to criticize. We have to explain why we don't like the stuff. We have to just go about it. So, that's what I wanted to talk about with the new Halos that are coming out. The new Halo that came out, the new Gears of War E-Day, Immersion Day coming out, and the new Fable, technically a retelling of the tale that we know of, coming out. It's talking about Fable that it's a saturation of heroes, which is like, okay, that's a cool aspect on it, but in Fable 1, there were a ton of heroes, but even still, they were struggling against the forces of evil. And it was looked as a hierarchy of things of, you're not going to get these particular quests until a certain point. Versus now, where it's more of, it's just super saturated. Where it's like, there's a hero, and then heroes can become villains. That was even told within the original Halo, you could be good or you could be bad. What's going on? Seriously, like, what's going on? I don't know. I really don't. And even then, they wouldn't even frown upon it, which was even more funny and interesting. That I found it really more exciting and really thrilling to look at. So, kind of very curious to see what's going to happen next. Kind of very curious to see what will occur and what won't occur. But yeah, that's my take on what was going on.